properly.
It's not.
So tell us what properly is.
It's
Certified mail. I'm not here to talk to you, Matt. I'm here for the fine committee.
Okay, that's fine.
it.
I want you to understand, in this envelope,
I said I'm not
is
here
your
to
check.
talk to you.
And I'm returning it to you.
Then you need to send it to me properly.
Hand delivered is properly.
No, it's not.
Noted as a.
It's your
You do that what you want. You've been served. You can laugh.
I do every day.
You don't want your $10 check back. It was insufficient, by the way.
Matt, don't talk to me. I am not here to talk.
Well, then why
to
don't you leave the office until the committee gets here?
I'm here at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and the meeting is at 11 o'clock.
Hi there. No, that's good. You're actually the first one here.
What is this? Is this just a Kangaroo?
It's a what? Please sit down.
Okay.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Leigh Cobb, Paul Catania.
Hi, Lee.
Hi.
Paul is a resident of Lexington.
Could you, I can't write, so I apologise.
Oh, that's okay.
So please forgive me.
No problem.
My lawyer's just asked for this, so I would appreciate you giving me your name. And Matt, you're not part of this meeting. This is a fine committee meeting. Neither are you, Joe, because you are on the board of directors of HRN. So you are not entitled to be here. This is a meeting of the fine committee. If you two are going to attend, then I will leave, because you are not allowed by law to be here. This is a meeting of the fine committee, not the board of directors.
Can I ask a question then?
Ask
Or
what
do
you
I have
want.
to email you a question? So you're going to make your case against the fine, correct?
I am here for the fine committee.
It's a yes or no question.
I am here for the fine, not to speak to you, Joe.
No, but it's a yes or
I
no-
am not here to
Look,
speak to you,
can't-
Joe.
Could you at least be civil?
No.
Then
No.
I don't think this meeting should happen.
This is a meeting of the fine committee. I will say it again. This is a
I can
meeting of
hear
the
you.
fine committee. So then stop talking to me. You're not even supposed to be here.
I'm moderating this meeting.
You're not here as a moderator. You are on the board of directors of HRN. You are not allowed
So-
to be here. This is what I have to deal with, and I am so sorry
is
that
what
on
you
a
have to deal
Saturday
with?
morning you are dragged into this garbage.
What am I supposed to be doing here?
We are here to have a meeting
Hi,
of
it's
the
Matt.
fine committee. That's it.
Listen, we're starting to get started here, and Leigh Cobb is saying that I can't be in the room. I don't know. She's saying that according to the law, and because I'm the president of the board, I cannot attend the meeting.
Waterfront. Where's that?
I can't be a part of
Good
the
morning.
decision process.
No, you can't.
But it's okay for me to present to the fine committee the rationale for the case, correct? Okay, that's our attorney speaking. I'm
Okay,
speaking.
my attorney has told me different.
Well,
But it's okay, I've got it on recording, so don't worry.
that's fine.
Don't
Okay.
worry.
All right, she's being very belligerent in respect to.
Morning.
Alright, guess it's
Okay.
what's gonna happen.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay, that was it. Thank you. I will. Bye. We're gonna proceed as I suggested.
What date appointed? I don't even know.
What date were you appointed to the fine committee?
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to sign that.
It's not a signature.
No,
it's
no,
a
no.
simple question.
No, I'm writing it. I just don't have
Got
that
it.
information.
Do you know when
I
it
don't
was?
get
Was
that
it
information.
January, February, March? I don't need the exact date.
I'll get that from Matt.
The initial committee was established on January 18th, 2022.
Is that when you were appointed to the fine
Correct.
committee, Joe? I didn't ask you, Matt.
I'm speaking when I want to speak.
You can
lady.
speak, but you're speaking
Okay.
to me. Don't speak to me.
I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to Paul. You asked the question. I'm giving you
I
the answer.
asked Paul, not you.
He didn't know the date. I'm giving you the date.
And I spoke to Paul. Were you appointed, Paul, in around January 2022 or January 2023?
I would have to go back and look at my emails to see when I was appointed.
Okay, thank you.
The appointment was made pursuant to board resolution. This is Laura Van Wallendale.
Yeah,
Hi,
I think
Laura.
we
She
did that
lives
before.
in Yorktown.
Yorktown.
Yep.
Laura, I can't write, so I apologise.
So
I
until
wonder if
January
you would just,
2022.
for my
January
attorney,
18th,
just
Oh,
let me
okay.
know who you are and what
2022.
community
Yeah.
you're in.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right.
That's for you.
Okay.
I remember going to meetings.
That's for you.
Can I grab my pen back, please, Laura?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can
didn't even
scribble
use it.
to a degree.
I didn't realize it was your pen.
No, it's okay, no worries.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Do you have that packet? Give it to her or Brian. Yeah. Hi, either place. Sit.
Set.
Sit.
Thank you. Hi.
Good
This
morning.
is Herb Bradley.
Hi.
He lives in Williamsburg.
I do.
Would you be
And-
kind enough? I can't write, so I apologise. Would you be kind enough to let me know who you are, what community?
No, I don't. No, I don't think so.
No?
And this
No.
is
And is there a reason?
And this is Ryan Healy. He lives in.
Say that again, sorry. Is there a reason why you won't let
Yes,
me
there
who,
is.
who
I,
you
I
are?
choose not to.
You
My name
choose-
is Herb Bradley.
And so I can't write, and you're not prepared to help me
I'm
do
not-
that?
no, I'm not.
Okay, that's fine. What's your name, please, sir?
Ryan Healy.
Would you be kind enough to write your name and just your community, where you are? Just for my attorney.
I'm sorry, were you?
I am the person being fined. My attorney has asked me for that. Because I can't write, that's all it is.
Okay, you can get that information from that.
Right, that's great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Joe's going to moderate this, okay? And I'm just going to present the facts that were presented to the board. So I'm acting as the board president. So Joe, if you want to get started,
Yeah,
I'm going to present my case,
Well,
if you will.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a fine. The fine's already been levied. The board has voted on the fine. It was brought to the board by there was a motion brought to fine. The fine was, I don't know if it was unanimous or one less than that, I don't remember.
It's 12 to 1.
12 to 1. So the role of you four is to review the fine and the procedures and to make a determination as to whether the fine is fair or not. So Matt will present the case for the fine with the details he seems is pertinent.
Okay.
And then you'll have a chance to present your case after Matt's done.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you to hold your questions till he's done. And we need to keep this civil.
I have no questions.
Okay, we need to keep this civil. I'd like you to agree to that. You won't agree to, you look at me like I have three heads. You don't
I'm
agree?
looking at you, simply looking at you,
Okay.
Joe.
Do you agree
Okay,
to
so
keep this civil?
let's move on. please.
Okay.
We're gonna have to
Okay.
do that.
This really all started, I believe, sometime around Christmas. Ms. Cobb installed a fence between her property and her neighboring property, okay? I've showed it, there's a picture of it in the documents I gave you. I received numerous emails to this office from residents of Amherst complaining about it. I reached out to her as well as to the board in Amherst, trying to get some explanation as to what had happened, because I had no record, meaning the board had no record of any application being made for the fence. Okay, so you'll see the email that I sent to Leigh Cobb, the picture of the actual fence. When I did make my request, I sent her a copy of our architectural control article from our bylaws, or from our master declaration.
Jesus.
Okay, yep, okay.
It says it right there.
And then, of course, in the folder are the emails that I received from the Amherst community members. I think there were 6 I received, okay? So that was the basis for my reaching out to her, looking for application, approval of her building the fence, okay? I think that information kind of speaks for itself. At the January board meeting of Heritage Ridge North, we initially reviewed the issue, and at that time there was some interest in going ahead and levy a fine against her right then, but we kind of pushed that back and said, hey, listen, let's give her time to make application and potentially get approval after the fact for the fence, okay? So we had passed a resolution at the January meeting requesting that happen. And again, it's in the January Board of Directors minutes that you have, okay? We forwarded to her an application, and it was returned to us, but it was lacking supportive documentation, which would be the approval of the Amherst community. Heritage Ridge North never signs off on something that hasn't been already approved by the sub-community. Okay, so any one of the individual incorporated communities need to have their community approval before we'll even consider it. Okay, so that was basically that. We never got a completed form. She's never received any approval, certainly not from Heritage Ridge North. Okay, so moving on to the last bit, at the last meeting of the board in March, a resolution was adopted by a vote of 12-1 to fine her for installing the fence without receiving the approval of the architectural review. Okay, the fine that was levied was $100 a day. The maximum we can fine anybody is $1,000. Okay, like I said, the fine has been put into place. It's your responsibility to make a final determination based on what I present to you and what Ms. Cobb presents to you. Okay? Any questions?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna be here, listen to what she's got to say. If she's got any additional questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
For the record, I don't have a copy of anything that the fine committee have got, so I can't answer. What does this shrug of your shoulders mean?
It's on you to.
Well, I don't know
make your case.
I don't know what documents
It's
they've got.
It's all things that existed.
You're saying that I've got those things?
No, I'm not saying you've got those things.
Sorry,
but
you're not Joe. Sorry, I apologise.
Well,
Matt said I had those things, and you're adjudicating.
You're
so
aware of those things. I mean.
Okay, I have a statement that I can read from my attorney, and there is 2 particular words that I would draw your attention to. Upon advice from my attorney, I attend this meeting today with 0 expectations regarding the fine imposed against me. Mr. Matthew Sullivan has waged a campaign against me, both in writing to the whole community as well as verbally in public. He has never attempted to contact me via telephone, knock on my door, anything. Instead, he has verbally insulted me to many of my neighbours. This will be dealt with separately going forward via my attorney, when I will be issuing an ADR demand and then follow up with a lawsuit against the association. If, as expected, this meeting goes, no resolution can be made. This will result in expedited costs to the association via attorney fees, mediation costs, and your insurance policy costs will increase the year after. This I would like to avoid, but due to the personal vendetta that Mr. Sullivan has against me and his use of community funds, I see no other way forward. I have complied fully with the exact wording in the letters sent to me by HRN, as well as the HRN LARC form, and as well as the wording under 8.1 of our bylaws. I would draw your attention to the letters that I have received via HRN, not emails, as they are not standing. The exact wording of those letters and the response I have submitted in line with this.
Any questions for her?
Were you on the board?
Sorry?
Were you on the board previously?
Which board?
The Amherst board?
Yes.
You were?
Yeah.
You knew the rules and regulations, bylaws?
I know
Did
the
you read
bylaws,
those?
yeah, as written, yes I do.
All right.
Yeah.
I have a copy of it here. It says that
Yeah, I'm
that's you're supposed to get approval, architect approval.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm the treasurer on my board on Bunker Hill.
Uh-huh.
And we follow by the same bylaws.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have the same, issues where someone
Yeah.
wanted to do something and they started it, we stopped them and said, you have to get architecture review. And they said, okay, fine.
Okay.
But you decided that you were above that?
My statement is my attorney said.
Well,
Are you here defending yourself or your attorney?
Your attorney. I mean, listen.
No, but the
this is-
reason
I
that-
have,
okay,
this
I'm
is a
not going
question.
to.
This is a question.
I know it is, and I am sorry that
Yeah.
all four of you are here on a Saturday morning when I'm
Don't
sure
be
you've
sorry.
got better things
I've asked
to
a
do.
question. Could you please answer the question? Were you aware of?
Yes.
You were, but you decided that that wasn't necessary for you?
I
That you could
refrain
just do
from
whatever the
answering.
hell you wanted?
I refrain from answering.
Okay. You refrain from answering. Well, then obviously that's a yes. Then I'll take it.
You can take it as you wish.
Yeah, I guess it is a yes because I mean, you knew the laws. You thought you were above the law, so you decided just to put the fence up.
Okay.
So and that's where we're at here now, basically. What else are you gonna do next? I mean, are you gonna put something else up without getting any other reviews?
My statement is as it is.
So if we're not going to talk about this, why are we even?
Yeah, why are we here? She's not gonna answer any questions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where's
So you
your-
broke. So
okay.
you broke the
Where's
rules
your
and
attorney?
regulations.
Bring your-
bring your
Yeah,
attorney
bring
to the
your
next
attorney.
meeting.
I'd like to talk to
Please,
him, too.
yes.
Otherwise, no one's talking.
Yeah. I
There's
mean,
no
it says it
point-
right
there's no
here.
point in
What
the
does it say
meeting.
right here.
Yeah, I read 8.1, yeah.
8.1 says no. But you said yes. So I guess we'll have to deal with that then, right? So I guess I can just go ahead down at the end of my block and put up a clock.
I was hoping a pool.
Well, I was thinking about that too, but I'm just gonna do whatever I want to make. Except that 8.1 doesn't matter. It's just meaningless. Just go ahead and do it and just disrespect, the community, which basically kind of did.
If no one's going to answer any questions, then I don't think the meeting is pointless to me.
Well,
Always, the meeting is to,
But she's not going to give us any information
No.
other than
Well, she
read what
knows
her
she
attorney
already-
wrote.
but
I
she
have
already-
read my
she already
statement
gave
to you.
information. I asked her a
I have
question,
complied
and
fully
she-
with the
she didn't wanna
exact
answer it, so-
wording in the letter sent to me by HRN.
All right, that's fine.
That's it.
That's
I
fine.
don't know. What do you mean? Wait, so what does that mean? You have completed,
Okay.
complied.
I'll read it again. I have complied
Read it
fully
out.
with the exact wording in the letter
Which letter are we referring to?
sent to me by HRN, as well as the HRN LARC form, as well as the wording under 8.1 in our bylaws.
so,
You've complied fully with 8.1.
Yeah, that's
Right.
where it says
You have to submit an
Yeah.
application for approval.
she didn't.
That's what I was looking for, the application. I don't see it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, the application is here. I saw the application.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Here's the application.
Okay.
Thank you.
Where is that? Okay.
it's in the packet.
I don't know how many was down.
Was the application approved? No?
I only
Do
see
you
the
guys
unit
understand
fine.
why
That's
they're
what I'm
here?
looking for.
That's not about the fine is because I haven't submitted the paperwork. Do they understand that?
They understand what Matt laid out to them when he was here.
Well, surely as a fine committee, they should know what they're fining me for. The
Yeah.
fine is because I haven't completed the paperwork.
The fine is-
Correct or incorrect?
The fine is because you
Sounds
did
like
something
approval.
without getting
No,
approval
no, no,
to do
that's
it.
not the fine. The fine is for not
So you
completing the
built-
paperwork.
So you built your
Do-
fence and then you submitted your paperwork. Is that
Do-
what you did?
Do you have a copy of a
Don't
completed
ask her. She's not going to
application?
read anything
Is
but
that-
her
Got it
attorney's
there?
letter.
It's not completed though. If there's no one signed it from Amherst. I mean, what does it say?
The
Just
building, whatever.
build the fence? What's that say? Wooden? I'm not sure what that
Wooden
says.
gray
Alright,
fence.
so
Wooden gray fence.
grey
So basically-
fence.
I don't think that's a sufficient.
And then this is the.
Oh,
What
but
else
you
do
didn't
you want to know?
properly
Do you want to
fill
know
out
how
form.
many slats are in it? And
No, you want to know
it's a
where.
wooden grey
No,
fence.
but
Most people would draw
This is
draw a
amazing.
lot and draw the house and show where the fence is going to
That's
be.
not according
and
to
have-
your documents that I've got on copy.
All right, so
okay, was the fence ever approved after the application was submitted?
you're asking.
need your
yeah, but-
Was
attorney for that?
Was the fence approved?
I don't see any notice of any approval stuff.
I don't.
Okay, so this is pretty cut and dry then.
It is.
It says you have to submit it first before you did it. You did it first, and then you submitted. They gave you that chance to submit. You did. There's no approval. So what are we here for? The fine stands, in my opinion. It's pretty cut and dry.
Is there anybody here from Amherst? No?
I agree. I mean, you can just put a fence up
Yeah,
without
I
asking.
mean,
And that's disrespectful
part
to
of
the
being in the
community.
nature way.
Yeah.
You gotta
The
deal
only,
with
the only
the.
question I have now, how does the county deal with this? I mean, are they allowed to, do they have to have a permit or something to put it? Because I'm not familiar with Amherst. So do they have to have a permit in order to put that up?
Good question.
That's a good question. Martin
Good
County
It's a
probably.
good question. I think the answer is yes. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
but
it's
we-
really irrelevant because the county will issue a permit for a roof that doesn't conform to our standards.
No, but right there, we're in violation if there's no permit.
No, but the permit isn't the issue. That would be a separate issue.
Okay, all right, but
I
I'm
believe.
just, I'm looking
This
at.
is
I
just
understand,
what-
I understand where you're going with that. I mean, you know, you didn't get you put a fence up, you didn't have a permit for it, and so on and so on and so on. But the bottom line is, you knew the rules. You were on the board. You knew the rules. You didn't submit. You didn't ask for permission.
You just
You
did it.
flew on your own. And said, guys, deal with it. There's the fence, and obviously we're not. You see, if you would have asked for permission.
The only I would just like to talk to somebody from Amherst, just to hear why, they're not gonna allow the fence, or are they just talking about the paperwork wasn't done right? That's all. I would just like to know Amherst, what their
Well, they-
reply is.
To the best of my knowledge, Amherst didn't approve the fence either
Okay.
because the application we have doesn't have an Amherst signature on it,
And so Amherst, they want that fence down.
presumably.
That's the
I mean,
only.
they said there are some emails and something
Yeah,
from the
some
Amherst
emails.
website.
I've read
Yeah.
a
There
few
were
people
people in there saying
yes,
they
few
wanted
people
it.
didn't want
You
it,
know, they
but
didn't want it, wasn't,
Yeah.
who gave permission to put it up, blah, blah, blah. I read those real quick too.
gotcha.
So,
This
a
is
vote?
definitely from one of the Amherst people.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm only because I would like to talk to somebody from Amherst what because we can just presume. I'm not gonna presume on this without talking to them, saying that they weren't gonna approve it, and that's why it's going this far. So if I could talk, yeah,
If I can answer that?
yes,
And this is kind of an answer.
okay,
The board resolution was made by Paul Mallon,
okay,
who is the representative from Amherst,
okay,
okay? Obviously, he led the charge, so to speak, because he is the representative, and he was the one who put forward the resolution to fine her, okay?
yeah,
Like I said, I did attempt to reach out to Barry Gorman, the president of Amherst, respective to this. I got a no response. I've also, by the way, tried to reach out to Leigh Cobb,
No, you haven't.
and when I send you an email, I get a response that basically says, you do not monitor your box and you don't take incoming emails. And I know that to be not true, okay? It's just the way you respond. So to suggest that there was never an attempt is obviously not accurate.
My only concern is, who is the person in Amherst that is the head of the architectural review?
Who's on the architectural review?
That's where I would go first.
Do you know the answer to that?
We don't have a lock at the moment.
Okay.
Are you asking me, Laura, when the fence was put up?
No, I didn't ask you that. I'm just looking
Sorry.
at the request that was put in. My question is, I'm only going by what our community does. We have a special ARC committee.
Yeah,
So the forms have to be sent to the ARC committee.
yeah,
Once they review it and approve it,
yeah,
then we send it to Heritage Ridge North to let them know.
okay.
But it has to be approved first, so I don't
Yeah.
see any kind of an approval on this.
I've
That's
never
what
been
I'm
asked
asking.
for it.
So do they have a separate, and I don't know how theirs reads. Ours can't be a board member, it has to be other people, our committee. You know, because each community is a little different.
Correct.
Right.
So, as I said, we have 3 people that are on the
The
ARC.
Leos are ours.
Right,
so-
exactly. And then it would go into the board just to let the
Right.
board be aware.
Well, you said there's no LARC committee right now.
Correct.
When's the last time there was an active LARC committee?
Sorry?
When is the last time there was an active LARC committee?
We all
Yeah.
resigned a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, but there was an ARC committee at the
There-
time of the fence being put up?
Correct.
Did they
Okay.
sign on did they sign off on
Did
your
they
application?
sign off on it?
Yes, Laura.
Where's the
Do
copy?
we have
You're
a
not a
copy
part
of
of
that?
it.
Do
I'll
we have a
speak to
copy
Laura.
of that?
Nobody's ever asked me for it.
Oh, certainly,
Could we
that's
get a
not true.
copy of
Yes,
that?
Laura, you can have a copy of that.
Thank you.
Do you have a copy of machine or would you like a photo?
I'm sure I can copy it here.
Could you pass that to Laura, please?
Can we copy this? Huh?
Sure.
Where do I go?
It's over there.
Can I see the package?
Sure.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm gonna just copy it. It looks like 2020. It looks like 2020 to me.
2022.
Over there.
All right, I don't know how to use this.
Thank you. I'm not familiar with it.
Is that's not this document?
No, that's yours. That's Heritage Ridge North.
So when you submitted the Heritage Ridge North one, you didn't submit the one that was approved from Amherst?
I have complied fully with the exact wording in the letter sent to me by HRN.
Okay.
All right, let me look at the.
Okay.
Let me look at that, 'cause we keep
Questions for you. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
For your file, that letter is dated the 19th of January.
You got that. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Mum.
Sorry. Slowly, once I'm existing boundary line between. Well, the way I look at this, there's 2 signatures on here from the ARC committee. One is Larry and one was,
Bob.
okay, could be that. And it looks like it was done 12/5/2020.
2022.
You wanna look at it?
And if you see the signature under that, it's 2022. I didn't even own the house in 2020 on that date. I've only been here 2 years.
Oh, okay, it looks like 20, looks like somebody changed it to a 0. It could have been
We try to
22.
correct it.
Yeah, it could have been 20, yeah.
All right, so was this approved then, or what?
That is a LARC approval form for my community.
Theirs is very different than my own one, so the only thing I can say, it may have been approved because I see names of who might have been on the ark, but other than that, whereas, you know, usually it has something similar to this, where it says it's approved or not approved.
But that is the signature at
But
the bottom
every
that is
community
That
approved.
was
is
approved
different.
back in 2020, and you didn't even know.
No, 2020
I
is
just told you,
a
I just
typo,
didn't
she
even
said.
own the
I
house
know
then.
It's a
that,
typo.
yeah.
But, no,
Yeah.
so when you submitted the HRN document here, was there any backup to that other than the document itself?
Do you want me to read the statement again, Joe?
No, I want you to answer my
Okay.
question.
Well,
That's what
I have the
want.
same kind of question too, because if you filled this out, did you attach one of those with?
I
when you
wasn't asked
sent
to.
this? Okay,
So, that's a no.
that's it. Okay,
I complied fully with the exact wording.
okay, but
Okay, that's it.
what I would have done if I got this, I would have just sent it back and say, I don't have anything that proves that you had an ARC form.
Thank
So
you.
please send it to me.
Yeah, and I
That's
haven't
what I
had any
would
of
have
that,
done.
Laura. All I've had is the letter sent to me on the 19th of January. Please send the attached form, which I sent back, and after that, I was issued with a fine. That's it. That's
No,
it.
when the letter was sent back, it was said it wasn't reviewed or couldn't be considered. Because
I
it
was
didn't
not
have the
contacted, Laura,
substantiated-
asking me
it
for
didn't have
anything
the
else.
The documentation that we normally expect. That was what the
Is
emails.
this- is
and
that in
the
this
letter
packet?
said to you.
Is that one in this packet?
I'm confused.
Yes.
Can I see this again?
So in other words, when this came in, that's when we sent the email back that we didn't get a copy of that.
No,
Is that
Laura.
what you're
This
saying?
was,
I got
and
nothing
this
but
was
a
submitted
blank
before
form.
the fence was constructed.
Yeah, and that was
That's not
of course
correct,
you owned
Laura.
it.
From the 19th
Well,
of
I'm
January.
just
No, that's okay, and I'm
asking
just correcting you.
questions.
What I have received is a letter on the 19th of January, which I have complied fully with. After that, I was issued with the fine. In between that, there has been no communication to
I
me.
don't even know what that date says.
This,
Okay, which one?
What's that?
that's the letter that was sent
So that was corrected.
with the application
This one
for
was-
North.
I don't
think
have
that's
emails
form
from
even- I
HRN,
think
so
this
what they
form
can
is-
send whatever they
Maybe
want.
I
I
got
don't have
2022.
emails from HRN. It is not a recognised format of communication.
Okay, so this was in February of '23. The date.
Here.
Who's Larry?
This was February 1. Okay. So that, this corresponds with this, because it looks like they received this February 1, and it
Right.
looks like this went out on February 1. Which said, we are in receipt of your application for the wooden
Right.
gray fence installed. We
Which is here.
require the community application, yeah, that's
Oh, wait,
the
it's
same
similar.
one.
I don't have that
Application
email.
with approval included before and
Oh, it
review,
was sent
please
to you.
forward.
No, I don't have any emails from HRN. My email to HRN is blocked. I do not have any emails from
Well,
HRN.
that's your choice whether you want to put it
Absolutely.
in a junk folder.
Right.
Yep, absolutely it is. Under Florida statutes,
But this is the
HRN
letter
does
that
not.
they.
No, that's an email. That's an email.
This is the
And under
email that
Florida
was sent back.
statutes, emails are not recognised as a communication
This
form.
is like home board.
The,
Because we got dates.
the application to Amherst that was signed,
Keep in mind,
Yeah.
is that done prior to the fence being installed?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, so even if she had this approval, she didn't get this.
Is there a communication going on behind there that I'm not party to?
This is all fudged up. This is.
He's asking Matt a question.
You might be sending them an email for all I know.
Yeah?
How's your name on it? She doesn't need.
Okay.
Alright,
So-
what's
This
this?
one is. That is
I don't know if
admissible.
this is a fact.
This is not admissible, it's a drag report. So this one here, I'm not even gonna pay attention to.
Yeah, we
It's,
didn't.
dates are changed, you ain't on the property.
Well,
We got
that's-
3 different dates here, right? And then we have one that's changed on the bottom, and then you throw everything
Where-
into a junk folder. All right. Guys, you want to continue with this?
I mean,
Well,
those are pretty much all the questions that I
I
have.
don't have any questions.
I was gonna hope for. I just want to keep examining my letter.
Which one?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, take a look at it.
Who are the guys that signed it?
Those are the two members of the LARC committee.
Do we?
Larry
But
and
how did
Larry and Bob.
how did your name get on that when you didn't even own the property and
No.
in 2020
No.
they signed it? How did that
The
happen?
2020 thing is a little.
How did the 2020
I think
thing
it's
happen?
been said like 4 times already. The date is 2022. I didn't own the property in 2020. I'm not sure how many times that needs to be said.
Well, I think what we're questioning is because the one, if it was 2022.
What I would say
why
is-
it looks like a circle.
What I would say is the guy that signed that has a dying wife, and maybe he didn't get the date and he's recorrected it. That is the LARC form that I have from my community, as well as emails from them to
You didn't
say
pick
that.
up on that? Picked up on a lot
Don't
of
need
stuff.
to.
You didn't pick up on this one?
I've picked up on everything I need to, so is my
It's
attorney.
like 2-2-2-1. I don't know.
2221.
Yeah, I don't
This
know.
one.
I was gonna say, can we talk to?
Can't we
Why
talk
don't you
to the
call
other
them?
The two
We
people that
could.
were on the
Why
other
don't you
committee
call
to
them?
verify it?
Absolutely. Why don't you call them?
Is there any way that we can do that?
That's, here's where I want to know what Amherst has to say. If
That's what I'm
Amherst,
Those are
saying.
the
I'd
two
like to
people
know
on
what they
there.
have to
if
say too.
Amherst, if she went through everything and Amherst did sign that, so I just want to hear somebody from Amherst saying, yes, we did sign this, we
I'd
did
like to get
approve
more
it.
information from
Would you like me to
Then-
get the president at the time on the phone?
Then,
Well, I would like to get the people that signed it.
I can do that.
That's what we would need.
Okay.
I mean,
So,
that's the information I would need.
Yeah. But even having that, it still wasn't approved by North, which is what's required.
And that's what the fine is about.
Right.
The fine is about I didn't complete the paperwork as it was sent to me. That is what the fine is about.
Right, you need this and that.
Right, you
So
need both.
this may have been approved by your community, but HRN didn't approve it.
Right. And the only reason why
That's-
I'm
oh my God.
assuming they didn't approve it is because they
Which
didn't
is this
have
one.
it.
That's not what the fine is about.
Yep.
Yes, that's basically what it is you
What-
did something that you didn't
The
follow the
fine
rules.
is about
You didn't
I-
follow the rules.
okay.
What's the?
What is the fine about?
What's the
There-
verbiage on
That
it?
I didn't submit the paperwork. That's the fine. What I did, what I didn't do with the fence, whatever. The fine says that I didn't submit the paperwork. That is the fine. How do you?
Is that-
How do they not know this? Have you not
We
told them
we
what the
didn't prep
fine
them-
is
I
all
didn't prep them
about?
for this. You were in the room for everything that they.
But you didn't tell them what the fine was about.
Is the fine?
can you not
is the
tell
fine
them?
because the fence wasn't approved, or is the fine
Because
Because
she
the
didn't submit the
paperwork.
paperwork?
The
Well, the same thing. The
paperwork.
fence wasn't
No, it
approved.
isn't the same
Absolutely.
thing.
That is
No, I know.
absolutely-
I'm just.
Herb?
well, I'm just coming, it's Amherst. Amherst, has approved it. But HRN,
Did not.
they didn't approve it. They just said absolutely not.
No, it was never a
get it-
properly
did you get
filled out
paperwork or
application
not?
to HRM.
Okay.
You never got the paperwork? So it's inside.
It's the one you have in there where she signed it, and you
Okay.
sent it back to her via an email she didn't get.
put the fence up before.
But when she sent it, she didn't send any documentation with
Okay.
it.
All
And
right,
she's-
so she put the fence up before submitting paperwork. That's
That's a given.
the given.
Right. Well, that was the first wrong thing, number
Okay.
one. So then she supposedly was told that she needed to fill out the paperwork. So from what I can see, it looks like we filled out the paperwork here to have it done, but somehow between here and here, something went array, and I don't know where the array went.
Thank you, Laura.
That's the way I
Nice and
see it.
simple.
Yeah, it's, so it comes down to Heritage Ridge North will not approve this fence?
We haven't been
We haven't,
properly asked
it.
to.
Okay, and so,
so basically what we're saying here is now we have this form, and if we put this form together, would Heritage Ridge North approve it? Is that what it comes down to?
That's not what the fine's about.
That's,
yeah.
I mean,
If that's, yeah, that's my question.
that's my question.
Yeah,
I can't
I
say.
don't know, and I can't say yay or nay. So now, this form, when we look at it as well, as I said, we have questions on it. I would like to speak to these two people. Is this considered approved or not approved from them?
from, yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I don't know.
It says it.
So after, let's say,
says it on there.
in speculation, you speak to them, they say, yes, back, and we get the dates right, please.
Well, they should have an
here."
original.
Yeah,
Okay,
to me,
and
this
the
signing
date's
means it's
right.
approved.
Right.
The way it reads
And
here.
now,
But
if
they
they
should
say,
have an
all right,
original.
so fine, if they, like, if they say, fine, we did approve it back on 12/5 of
Well, we don't know if it's 22 or 21,
2022.
but they should have an
2022.
original.
Right.
All right, well, that could be, the original could be Begay's like this in a sense as well, but I mean.
Well, I'd like to at least see
I
what
don't
the original dates are.
But
Yeah, well, anyway, so if they said, yes, we did approve, after we speak to those two, then what is the next step forward? Does it lead back to
When was
this?
the
This,
fence
right.
put up?
All right, now, when it leads back
2nd
to
of January.
this,
Mhm.
2nd of January. Gotcha.
who has to vote on the approval?
Well, I would assume that we have an ARC for Heritage Ridge North
Right.
also. Yes, we do.
Okay, now,
So we would have to get Heritage Ridge.
we'd
have to get them involved.
See, the problem that I'm still having is you proceeded
With the fence before anything was done.
and you didn't.
That's what the
and
question.
You didn't make sure that
It was okay to do it.
Right, and you just did it, and you knew that was probably not right, but you did it.
Right.
That's the issue. I'm
So in
having.
other words,
even if
basically, we put the
even if
car-
this comes
we
back,
put
I mean,
the
it
hard-
doesn't matter.
That's why I want to talk to the Amherst people.
Me too.
The Amherst
Just
people
to be
said, yes, it's
sure.
good, it's good, now just go ahead and put it up, and then they didn't tell her that, wait, you still gotta go to Heritage Ridge North and ask them.
Correct.
And so,
Thank you.
did they say that? That's what I'd like to know.
Me too.
And if they said, well, you just gotta go to Heritage Ridge North, and then,
No.
so that's all I wanna know.
Well, we can.
And the only thing is, as far as the fining goes, the most we can do is do a fine until we can get this corrected. That's the way I see it.
The fine is I didn't fill in the correct paperwork in relation to the email, to the letters via certified mail that I have received.
Well, actually, the fine would be because you did put up the fence prior to filling out the complete
Correct.
paperwork.
That's not the that's
Well,
not
that's
the letter that was sent to me
That's
about
the
the
end
fine.
result.
But
Yeah, that's the end
the
result.
Do you have a
It
copy?
isn't.
Do you have
That's
a
it.
copy of that
You
letter?
can't
You have a
go.
copy of that letter?
Yeah.
Lee, you can't go
Have you not
beyond
given
the
them
end
a copy?
result. I mean,
I know,
No,
it
can't
could be-
you
just
can't
do
fine me for something that we don't have a committee to do.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so wait. I mean, we're spinning wheels
Right,
here.
that's
in a
what we
sense
are
right
doing
now.
at this point.
All right, so where do we want to go?
I just want to see the copy of the fine letter.
it's
It's probably in the
it's
pocket,
in the
packet
packet you
here
have, I
somewhere.
think.
Is it?
I believe it is.
Matt, is the fine in the
Is
package?
the
Yeah.
fine, what?
The certified letter should be in your package.
Yeah,
I think
it's in there.
The last thing in the package, the letter that was
Right
sent to
here,
her.
bottom page, I think.
I got it.
Oh.
This came from Heritage Ridge. Okay.
I didn't say anything about submitting the paperwork. It just says for
Yeah.
installing a fence without architectural.
You know what? You
end
are
result.
you are correct. You are correct.
All right,
I
okay.
stand corrected.
That
Okay.
is the end result.
That's the end result.
I
Okay,
mean,
so that's
whether the
kinda-
paperwork, it's still,
The fence is
we
up,
lead towards
there's no
the
approval.
end result. I mean, the fence was up before the paperwork was submitted. They both work together.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
We already kind of had two votes. Do you guys, you want to pretend we don't have two votes already and start and vote from scratch?
What
Or
do we vote?
did you change your mind?
What
You
do-
said fine stands before.
No,
Really?
I'm sorry,
But is that still your?
you should have gone about this differently. You should have made sure that you got approval. And you were on the board before, so you knew the rules.
So you vote the fine stands?
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions.
Yeah. You,
But
Is
my
there-
question with this whole thing too, I'm sorry, I don't mean
No,
to
no,
cut
go
you
ahead, go
off.
ahead, go.
Okay, fine. So what is the end
Sorry.
result of this gonna be? I mean, we're gonna fine, and just keep fining?
To a maximum
Or
of
is, it,
1,000.
or is there going to be an end result? I mean, are we gonna get the paperwork and then there'll be approval she can keep the fence? Or does the fence have to be removed?
That's a good point.
That's my-
Um,
that's-
that's a good
I mean,
point.
you could fine until
Well, we can
you're,
only fine for
We can only fine for
$1,000.
$1,000.
yeah,
That's
but
the
then,
maximum.
but we're still in the same predicament. Is the fence gonna stay or does it go?
That's probably
But
a
the-
question for the attorney.
Yeah, but the
Yes.
fine is, she's been fined for putting the fence up without approval.
And I get
think-
that
And I
part.
think that's
That's all
it
we're here
is.
for, yeah.
Okay.
That's all-
but-
That's all we're here for.
Okay, but again, what happens if we go to the point of fining her up to $1,000? Does the fence still stay? Did we resolve anything? No.
Well, I think
Well,
that's for a
the
different,
intent.
that's for a
The
different
intent of the
committee
fine,
meeting.
in most cases, is to be a deterrent to the behavior
And I agree.
but it didn't, obviously it didn't work this time because it was put up before we even knew about it.
Right.
So our fence costs $1,000 more than what it should have, basically. And she gets to keep the
And
fence.
it's, well, I don't know if she gets to keep the fence
Well, I
as a
mean,
foregone
typically,
conclusion.
she has to take the fence down.
Right, but that's another
But that's a-
group of people, another meeting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's
That's
another
not what we're here
committee
for today. We're
meeting,
here today to uphold
Okay.
or reject the fine.
Right.
yeah.
So
Gotcha.
then basically then I would go back to the point where then if that's all we're looking at, then I would say, yeah, we could fine her. I would vote yes, fine her, because it wasn't done properly.
Yeah.
Period.
And your fence costs $1,000 more, in a sense. And
That's how I would
take
look
it
at
to
it
the
at
next
this
step.
point.
I mean, or
Yes.
Just, and this is an opinion, as far as what would happen next,
Mm-hmm,
once we've done what we're doing here,
mm-hmm,
it's gonna get thrown back to the Amherst community.
mm-hmm,
Okay, we were brought into it, meaning Heritage Ridge North,
mm-hmm,
by the Amherst community.
correct.
Okay, we're doing what we can do. Okay, once we do what we can do, the
So-
Amherst leadership will get notified of what actions we've taken, and they're gonna be told that any further action is in their hands.
which would mean the removal
If
of the
they wanna,
fence.
if they
Which
wanna
would
take
probably be
action, they
removal
have
of the
to
fence,
remove
most
it.
the
likely.
fence.
Yes.
I mean, that's the
Yeah,
way
that's
I
it.
see it.
Good
Yeah,
luck with
Yeah,
that.
and that's how I see it playing out, okay?
Okay, okay, all right.
All right, so we have 3 yeses and we.
So all
But
we're,
Amherst approved it.
Hmm?
I'm
that's,
sorry, I didn't hear.
But
you.
Exactly.
Amherst approved it, right?
Exactly.
According to this, they approved it, yes.
Yep.
That's not what the question is.
Right. But this was after the fact.
It was after the fact. She put the fence up.
It was approved after the fact.
No, it wasn't.
No,
It was
no,
approved prior to me putting the
So
fence up.
Amherst approved it, you put the fence up, but it
Yeah.
hadn't gone to HR and
Correct.
for approval. They asked you
means
to
it was-
submit the paperwork.
Mhm.
You submitted the paperwork.
After the fence was up.
After the fence was up, it was not approved, or, gotcha, okay. I don't know if Amherst is gonna, if Amherst would make him take it down, they already
But that's-
approved it. But anyway, that's,
Yeah, I don't know how they can do
doesn't-
that.
that's, again, that's a different meeting, right? Okay,
All right.
I got it, I'm clear.
Well, unless one of the 3 of you has changed your mind, you can vote or not vote, it's still 3 to 1. So the fine is upheld.
If the fine is for installing a fence without architectural approval,
From north.
then from Heritage Ridge North, then there is no approval, so my vote would be the fine stands, based on that information.
If we're going with that, if we're going that way,
Yeah.
It's
yes.
the scope of,
That's,
Yes.
those are the procedures.
The
Those are
procedure, right.
steps you have to take.
so what we're voting on is that she just did not apply to HRN.
Correct.
Correct.
No, we're voting that
we're upholding
She-
the fine because the
Didn't
fence
she-
was put in
was
without
not approved.
HRN approval.
Without HRN,
Without
so
approval.
that's it. Even
Right.
even though it's possible, Amherst gave her permission to
But
put it
that's
up.
fine, but then HRN's gotta give permission.
yeah.
That's the
And I
bottom
don't-
line.
Right.
I don't believe
Global,
anyone at HRN saw that copy of that Amherst form before today. I mean,
Oh, well, that I don't know.
I mean, in the January meeting, we asked you, we gave you an opportunity to submit the forms. And the fact that you submitted what
Would you like me to read it again?
No, I don't want you to read it
Okay,
again.
there
Yeah,
you
we
go.
know.
But the fact that you
Yeah.
submitted what you thought was minimally legally what you had to submit, rather than just be cooperative and submit.
If you are a member of a board, Florida Statutes has so many rules and regulations. If you don't know those rules and regulations, you shouldn't be serving on the board.
Yeah. Well, I took the certification course and I passed it, so.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Mhm.
Appreciate that.
Clearly didn't take a lot of information.
You know, it just has to be
Well-
2022,
Speculation.
because on the top of that,
Finally.
that's the date, the 22nd.
What's
So it
wrong?
has to be
Yeah, I'm not
22.
worried about the dates
What's
anymore.
wrong?
I'm just gonna assume that Amherst approved it, but even then, it
didn't matter.
It didn't get
But the whole
approved by
thing comes down to
HRA,
Heritage
and that's
Ridge
what the
North
fine is
didn't.
for, so
Yeah.
So
that's
the
all
fine
we
is
can
for
vote
because
on.
Heritage Ridge North didn't approve it.
And the fence
Okay.
went up.
And the
Correct.
fence went up.
Okay.
So the fine is upheld and I think the meeting is over.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone, any final comment from anybody? Okay, thank you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully we don't have to do this again.
That would be nice.
There was another fine levied, by the way, at that same meeting,
Yeah.
but that person complied.
That was in my Williamsburg.
Yes.
Yes.
They, well, they complied.
They complied.
They
They were
complied.
fined, so you can be fined if you don't do X, Y,
Right,
Z.
but then they,
They did X, Y, Z,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they came. they
which is
took
what the
care of
goal of
Was
the fine
yeah, that's the
is.
whole purpose.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
You wanna shred all these papers?
I'll just leave it on the table.
Just leave them on the table. Okay, you might wanna put
Hold
this
on
in
to
with
it, T's,
your-
you get it.